I wanted to discuss something that I discovered in FF7 Revelation. Something I think is sort of worth talking about. I posted about it on Twitter, but I just really quick want to sort of show you something I think is sort of fascinating of what it could potentially mean. And it revolves around a thing that we see quite literally right at the start of the FF7 Revelation trailer.
Long ago.
So, right at the start of this trailer, we see this big fucking thing, right? This weird, goofy thing that almost looks like Safer Sephiroth's like form made into like a nebula. Now, we've been seeing this thing, right? We've actually seen this thing technically twice before. One time at the end of Remake, and also in the Ever Crisis mobile game. So, I was going back and rewatching 7 Seconds to the End because I'm in that FF7 mind space of trying to understand what the fuck is going on. I'm excited. So it has me just like theorizing and shit. So I was going back. I was like 7 Seconds to the End. I've watched this scene so many fucking times now to the point where I think I've nearly memorized it. Probably because it is one of the most interesting things of this remake series that is yet to be answered, by the way. We still have no fucking idea what this shit is.
Careful now. That which lies ahead does not yet exist. Our world will become a part of it one day, but I will not end.
So there it is. That same fucking constellation of whatever the hell this shit is. So I'm gonna keep playing, but I noticed something interesting about it.
Nor will I have you end.
This is...
the edge of creation.
Well, that Cloud stands there like he has any fucking idea what he's talking about. He's like, yeah, it is. It's like, Cloud should be like, what?
Cloud, lend me your strength. Let us defy destiny together.
Hold my hand, Cloud.
Never.
Never. You'll never catch me, gay thoughts. Anyway. Yes, then he does the Omni Slash Tim, which is epic as shit. Yeah. And then... Not yet. Also, this part right here. I have something to say about this, too. Got a few things I've been noticing now as time has been going on.
7 seconds till the end. Time enough for you, perhaps. But what will you do with it? Let's see.
So here's where we get a really good look at this big old fucking nebula bullshit. And something occurred to me. This fucking thing is reversed. This is actually backwards from the one we see at the start of Revelation. What? Why is it flipped horizontally? You can tell because look, the big long side with the little like, what look like little feathers are falling are on the right here. And here they're on the left. It's essentially the same shape. It really hasn't changed that much, but it is actually flipped over. And it's not the only place either where we've seen this. No, wait, there's more. We've actually seen this also in the Ever Crisis game. As Sephiroth recalls his past, it ends with this sequence of him staring up in that same place at the edge of creation. Now this matches up with this. And the colors are a little different. It's actually a little more detailed too. It's very starry here, but long bits, weird little feather things. Like the actual shape of it is still kind of the same. It's also funny. You see like these weird little dark spots here on these feathers things here, right? You can actually see them on all these ones too. They're like, the details remain the same. I was like, I'm actually like, I looked at that almost like, is that like something there? Is that like a little dude? Like, what is that? So I thought, it's so interesting then. Why is it in Revelation, why is this reversed horizontally? It's almost like when we're out here on the edge of creation, it's almost like we're looking through a window. Like this place here is like essentially a window looking from one end of where we are to the other. So if we're looking at it from this side, like we have to pass through something to get here. Another interesting thing I've noticed that some of you've already seen is this little dude down here. What the fuck is that? You might just be like, well, it's just a detail, like a fun little thing we're just gonna throw down there. No, bro. It'd be one thing if it was just here, then nowhere else. It's in this one too. This one also has some additional little stars and stuff that do not show up in this one. But they went out of their way to make sure that this little green star existed in the bottom left in both of these scenes. But it's not here in this one. We don't see a green star on this side. Peculiar. What if, per se, what if this little green star down here, what if that's Gaia? What if that's literally the planet that we're on? Hence why we're looking at it from this direction. It's so fucking far away, right? We go through here and it's so far away that we're literally on the surface looking up at this thing. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, because I definitely wonder this, but Nico, isn't our fucking planet that we're on mostly water? Why is it green? Why would it be green? Well, I might have an answer for that too. You might remember in Bugenhagen here, when we go talk about planetology.
The body withers and returns to the planet.
Planet, as you can see, looking at it,
What of the mind,
mostly covered in ocean.
the spirit?
You think it'd be blue. However, as he describes the live stream here, we've always in general in FF7 shown the live stream as a green thing. I'm almost wondering if from a distance is that if maybe if that's what we're seeing, almost like a refracted light of the planet. This green haze, it's not like we're necessarily seeing that when we're down there, but maybe from a distance, if you can actually see the live stream like protecting the planet in some way, giving it a minty fresh look.
It is a stream.
The live stream has always been portrayed as like a green stream. So maybe that's what we're seeing. Maybe the reason why from a distance it looks like a green thing is that it is specifically the live stream we're seeing. That's how they're choosing to portray it. Maybe. This is just me theorizing because again, it's not visible here. We don't see it. Again, it's like we're on the other side of this, what is potentially a mirror. But here's a few other things I want to bring up because I think that this thing here, whatever it is going to play into something significant. First off, cool thing. I don't know how much this actually matters, but I think this. I think this is the title screen. This sword stabbed into the ground here that has been literally existing since OG FF7. I think this is the title screen of FF7 Remake. I'm pretty sure this is the same thing. Because even the ground is very similar. It's like this weird rock. So I think that's actually, again, why would that be? Why would they show that here? It's showing how significant this shit is. It's showing how actually significant it is. Similarly tilted. You actually see it too at the end here. I think this shit is literally like the end game for Cloud or for Sephiroth. This is the thing that he's been trying to accomplish for this whole series. He describes it as the edge of creation, right?
Our world will become a part of it one day.
So this thing that we're looking at, he sees us, where we are, as becoming a part of it, as adjoining this thing. Is this perhaps the reunion, right? Is maybe as he's drawing together all these worlds and the end of Rebirth, right? All these timelines, is this what it's making essentially this giant nebula? Maybe it's all coalescing in one place, in a visible place. The interesting thing is that this location, the way this looks though, is different from the crack in the sky that we see in Rebirth. That is supposed to mark the end of a world. This thing is different, but it sort of has a similar look to it. It's got the iridescent colors of it are kind of similar. I'm almost wondering if maybe what we're seeing here is like a strand pulling whatever world or line that we're in into this thing. Maybe they're all joining together. This is like representing like a strand to pull it into this. The reunion, essentially. And we actually see that, by the way, also when Sephiroth is talking to Cloud about the union of worlds.
Behold, the true nature of reality.
Again, everything in this has this same iridescent color, by the way. When things seemingly change, right? When Cloud seemingly saves Aerith, we get this same like lighting, this weird that we just got like right here.
The true nature of reality.
This is like rainbow iridescent. It all matches up in a similar way to this and to this one's slightly blue. This one's almost kind of colored a little differently, but these match up pretty good.
When the boundaries of fate are breached, new worlds are born.
Look at this shit, man. I think it's all tied together.
The planet encompasses a multitude of worlds, ever unfolding. Some quickly perish, while others endure. Yet even the most resilient...
And I'm almost wondering if what we're seeing down here is this nebula. Like it's all being pulled into this.
Nevertheless, their loss is not to be mourned. For it is not death, but a homecoming that awaits them.
He's saying don't mourn them because they are joining together. They are becoming one.
The planet's embrace.
Like right here.
All life is as one. All born are bound to her. Should this world be unmade, so too shall her children.
He'd tell you that he only cares about the planet. That he'd do everything in his power to protect and preserve it. But this isn't the way it's supposed to be.
Here, look, he watches two of these worlds join into each other. Now, this all ties back to what John Q. Gamer, he did a beautiful piece discussing about how potentially this was maybe done by the Cetra as a way to keep Genova separated or something, right?
Sing to the planet.
And every time they brought together...
To her ecstatic cries, her rapture.
Screaming! It's screaming!
Oh, Cloud. I thought you might finally understand. Cloud, lend me your strength. Let us
defy. And what do you know?
Together.
What do you know? How is it that in this same scene, we're also seeing this again? This specific scene where we first get revealed to that crazy nebula, the edge of creation.
7
Seconds till the end.
Time enough for you.
Look at the outer rims of this thing,
But
dude.
what will you do with it? Let's see. Let go of the past, Cloud. For the future is bright. We are to bear witness to the reunion of worlds.
Reunion.
By the way, also, look around. We're almost like floating in space right now. I shit you not. I believe where Cloud really is right now is literally inside of this. I think that's what he's seeing. He is literally in here. I think what this shit is the reunion of worlds. This is everything. All of these world lines are all being dumped into this thing. All being brought and coalesced into one place. So as he's in there, as he's swirling in this cesspool of fucking, like, timelines, he's witnessing all of it just kind of together,
Very stubborn.
merging.
Perhaps you need a little push.
Bro, just like, look at this. It's only shows up for a few frames where you really get a good look at it. It kind of looks like this bullshit, man. And then the same fucking effect. The same effect, by the way, that we saw when we first went to the Edge of Creation. And the funny thing is, this effect, by the way, of going through like this tunnel was in the original FF as well, FF7. At the very end of the game, Cloud fights Sephiroth in this like seeming void, right? It's almost like trying to explain what that was. This seemingly has always existed. This place. My thought is that this is basically the end game for what Sephiroth wants. He calls it the Edge of Creation. And here's an interesting thing, by the way. When we're out here, and you only really see it in this scene. When Cloud is out here in this weird land, it's not just the creation we see, right? Whatever the fuck that big yellow thing is. It's also this. And there is actually I don't know exactly how this was obtained, but there was a storyboard that showed off how they like wrote this scene, essentially. Where they described these two things here, the one back here and the one in front, as the universe of creation and the universe of death. I think this one is the universe of death. And the funny thing about the universe of death is this weird silhouette back here. Looks kind of familiar. At least I think it does. Here, let's get a better shot of it. This looks kind of familiar. The shape of it looks sort of, it's not like we've seen before. It looks a bit like this. What I would sort of say is the general shape of Jenova, which is a long tree trunk with like two little doodads out here. Hell, you might even argue this little foot here. Oh, actually, hell, it might even look a little bit like the weird fucking form that Hojo gets. Funny enough, Hojo gets a form similar to this in the PS1 game. Yeah, this fucking shit. Look at this. This weird little leg thing he has. It's not too dissimilar. I'm almost wondering if in some way this is him taking on a Jenova-like form. It's like a tree almost, right? It's like a trunk of a tree with this weird thing, and then like, but it creates like this Y shape, right? And that's what Jenova kind of has too. There's so many different forms of Jenova now, you're right, that have all taken on these weird kind of like Cthulhu-esque, like existential horror, right? So here's my thought of what maybe could be happening here. I feel like and this actually ties again back to maybe what potentially John was talking about. The idea of there being multiple forms of Jenova. Maybe as all these worlds are coalescing, we're creating basically two giant cesspools of these universes. One that includes all of our worlds together, and one that includes all of the Genovas together. And I'm thinking that maybe behind him is literally, we're watching as Genova's like true form is being created. And the other one, the creation universe, that is actually what Sephiroth wants. I think Sephiroth wants to like reunite the worlds and form them in a way to his own making, right? Make essentially a universe that is all tied together that could potentially either be like, well, the live stream doesn't exist, right? We all can never die. Something like that. A world with his own rules. While also kind of maybe about two birds, one stone here. If it's true that Jenova is like Sephiroth, right? And he seemingly exists across all of these different like worlds. Maybe this will allow him to bring them together and maybe kill it. It might be the purpose of why he's keeping Cloud around, is that Cloud has already shown that he can escape the grasp of Jenova. By the end of Final Fantasy VII, he basically is freed from Sephiroth and Jenova's shadow, right? When he discovers who he really is. I don't know if Sephiroth ever can truly free himself from that. I feel like the reason maybe he wants to keep Cloud around is because he wants him to actually kill Jenova for him. That maybe he's the only one who can. And that will then free Sephiroth from essentially actually doing what he wants to do. I think there's a point where maybe Sephiroth himself is as much a puppet as Cloud is. That might be the point. She has been in his head since day one, exactly. Now this one I'm not sure about. But maybe. Maybe. So, when we look at this, we're supposed to be at the edge of creation, right? We're at a place that seemingly exists between maybe two different universes being formed. Like a universe of death and the universe of creation. That's what the storyboard stuff described it as, which let me actually see if I can find that. So I have like the proof on hand. So I don't know exactly where this was taken from, but this is like the storyboard of that scene. Confident smile. Smoothly raises sword. Camera turn. Space shows contrast between the universe of death and the universe of creation. Camera pans down. Camera moves vigorously. Sephiroth approaches Cloud. Cut in. Cloud in ready stance bears the burden of the universe of creation. So, who knows if that's actually going to be called that, but that's seemingly what they're referring to it as. Yeah, there's a bit of a divisive translation. I don't know if this is, because like, again, I think a lot of this would have been storyboarded out in Japanese. So I think someone might have taken this and potentially translated it specifically from like an Ultimania. More than likely. So, you know. But anyway, here's a thought here. And I'm not totally certain about this, but where the fuck are we? What are we actually standing on right now? It looks like a big fucking rock, right? It almost looks like we're on the surface of the moon. What if this big stupid rock that we're standing on that seems to exist between these two universes, right? What if it's literally this?
A meteor called forth to bring ruin to all.
What if we're standing on the surface of meteor? Maybe this shit is like potentially like we're on the top of the happy phase. Ah! What if this thing, which let's get a good look at the surface here. It actually shows it. It's always been an interesting thing of like, what even is meteor really? Right? Like Rebirth went out of its way to explain that the black materia was a byproduct of the anger and resentment of the Gi taken form, right? And it would basically unleash the ultimate magic, which is meteor. A giant rock that would come down and fucking kill all of us. Or at least inflict enough of a wound on the planet that the life stream would have to essentially come out to heal it. So much of it that would just lead to either the death of the planet through Sephiroth absorbing it or whatever. So maybe, just maybe, and this is really like, now we're really theory crafting here of like, maybe when we're over here standing out in this spot here, maybe this is like meteor. I don't know. Maybe this is like meteor forming in the like, again, it's like this weird, I'm trying to form my tiny brain around the concept of what we're even looking at here of like existing between like two universes. A creation universe and a universe of destruction or death. And then in between it is a big rock or a place that we can seemingly stand. I don't know if that means that at the end of FF7 OG, when we got a similar effect of Cloud going through that tunnel in his brain, right? In his mind, seemingly. Like, we never really The thing is, when that happens, Cloud just sort of like kind of passes out and sees that. It's almost like his psyche is out here, right? Or like his soul, his spirit is basically traveled here. Is that where he fights Sephiroth at the end of the PS1 FF7 OG, right? I don't know. In that game, it's more just like you're just in a dark void. It's almost like they decide to transform it into a place like this. That is literally out in the middle of fucking space. What if the meteor is being formed inside of the black materia and that's where they are? I mean, maybe? Maybe, but we're like, again, the thing is, in the start of this trailer, man, we're seeing this, and then we're looking down at this is Gaia, I think. Seemingly. Though there's also this red spot down here, which is also interesting, right? It seems like we're almost like our souls are like in space or something. It's hard to understand if how much of this is really happening and how much of this is like is supposed to be like a metaphor or something, right? Or just like the idea and the concept. But they're making it seem like at some point we're gonna look in the sky and see this thing, this big thing. Though to be fair, none of the shots we see of us looking up at the meteor seem to show it, right? When we look up in the sky, all we're seeing is that. We're not seeing the big weird like star thing. So maybe what we're seeing in this, maybe it shouldn't be taken so literally. It could be. Here's a thought. Maybe what we're seeing here is something way later. Like once the reunion is done and all the worlds have joined together. Hell, maybe this part here we're actually physically seeing this now. Maybe this is at the end of the game. Maybe the meteor has already landed. Maybe that's why we're seeing the red down here. The meteor has actually already crashed into the planet. And here's the thing, I've actually had a thought about this. I actually think this time that might happen. It doesn't in the OG. Technically, Aerith manages to stop the meteor from crashing, at least entirely, into the planet's surface. I almost think it might happen this time. Like this time the planet actually does collide with the surface and everyone dies. And no, I think it's just more, it's going to lead to essentially what Sephiroth wanted. And I still think that this is it. Our world will become a part of it one day. Part of this. That's what I think. This is the thing that he wants. This is the world that he wants. And I think by having Meteor essentially collide, I think he accomplishes that somehow. Whether it's somehow getting this world to join in the reunion with this, or maybe simply getting enough of the life stream to gush out of the planet that he absorbs it himself, right? That was always the plot point of the original game, by the way. Let me show that real quick, because that's sort of like an easy thing to forget of like, wait, what does Sephiroth even want in the original game? It's actually not specifically to just blow the fucking planet up, because it kind of feels like it is, but, and I even I sort of misremembered how this kind of goes. He says it specifically when you're in the Temple of the Ancients in the OG game. How do you intend to become one with the planet? It's simple. Once the planet is hurt, it gathers spirit energy to heal the injury. The amount of energy gathered depends on the size of the injury. What would happen if there was an injury that threatened the very life of the planet? Like how much energy would be gathered? And at the center of that injury will be me. All the balanced energy will be mine. By merging with all the energy of the planet, I will become a new life form, a new existence. Melding with the planet, I will cease to exist as I am now, only to be reborn as a god, to rule over every soul. Well, that's just stupid. That's the reason why he wants to summon Meteor. But the thing about that is that, like, they even sort of elaborate a bit of this also in Advent Children, where essentially they describe it as he'll like absorb the planet, and then he'll use basically the husk of what the planet is to be as a ship to ride the cosmos, to go to other planets to do the same thing, right? Becoming more and more powerful. The funny thing is, I don't think that's actually what Sephiroth wants in this one, right? But it might not be too dissimilar, where he still plans to inflict a damage enough to the planet that he wants to absorb the life stream. my feeling is that maybe he's trying to do it as some way to basically remove the life stream so that death just nobody truly returns to it. They just live forever. But if Bugenhagen says that if the life stream is gone, the fucking planet will just die. He even says it in this cutscene here. He even talks about like, well, if the planet goes away, look what happens. It turns into a big rock. Look what happens.
If ever that essence were to be entirely depleted.
It could be that he's mistaken, because Bugenhagen has already shown that he's not exactly right about all of this. So it's like, if that were his true goal here, right, then, well, the planet's just fucked. How's that gonna work? And to that, I'm not exactly sure. It's hard to know if maybe Bugenhagen is just incorrect, or if maybe that's not exactly what Sephiroth wants this time around, was to specifically just suck up the energy of the planet in the same way. Because to me, I was thinking for a long time of like, well, what's the purpose of even summoning Meteor this time, right? Like the Gi wanted. The Gi wanted because they actually want to die. They want the planet to be destroyed because then they hope that that means that they will just die. They will not be refused by the planet any longer. So maybe that's the hope for Sephiroth. Does he just want, well, now nobody will die and we'll all be good? The problem is that all of this theorizing of what Sephiroth actually wants is just theorizing. We've never truly got him to say exactly what it is that he is trying to accomplish. Does he actually want a world without death? That's sort of, Aerith seems to insinuate that. She says that, like, but we don't honestly know how that would work. What is Sephiroth envisioning? What does he envision the world becoming without it just being a husk, just dead? That's the thing that we still don't know. And even then, again, the idea of us being on the meteor at the edge of creation, right? That's cool. That's an interesting thought. But at the same time, why? I have to go, why necessarily would it function like that? I only feel like it might be that way, being shown and displayed this way for a specific purpose, to maybe insinuate that there's more to what Meteor is than we thought before. It's not just a big fucking rock in the sky. It's actually something of greater significance. There's something more to it. Anyway, this is the shit that's been going around in my mind. I'm feeling a fair amount of confidence to say that I think Sephiroth's endgame, his goal, is the big weird nebula. And I think that is basically the coming together, the coalescing of all these different world lines and things. But it's an interesting thing because it seems like it's not always visible. Like, maybe only people who have been touched by, like, the live stream can see it, you know? We don't really know, because Tifa looks up at the end at the sky, right, at the end of the game, and we don't know what she sees. Does she see the big crack in the sky? I don't know. Or is it just cloud? Again, is any of this shit for real or not, right? Sephiroth even asked Cloud in his last boss fight. It's like, what do you make of this, Cloud? Is any of this shit for real, or is it all just a fever dream? And that's why, unfortunately, all of what I've said now is just so maybe. Because there's always something to basically discount and say that, well, no, because of this. And until we really get the game in our hands, we actually see for ourselves, we're not really going to know for sure. But I think this has been, at least had my theory crafting brain going in hyperdrive at just even the early stuff that we've seen. That's the first fucking thing we see on this trailer, bro, is that damn, like, edge of creation nebula thing. So I think that is going to be the true, like, actual end game for FF7 and for Sephiroth. So however it comes out, whether we're staying on the meteor's surface, whether it is a coming together of Genovas like we think, whether it's coming together of the other universes and it's forming some other thing, whether the fucking idea of the meteor coming down still benefits Sephiroth or not. Does he want to be a hero? Is he doing it to suck up the live stream energy? How does that function? We just gotta wait and see, man. Yeah, Omni Tupac is waiting for Sephiroth in the live stream, brother. It's gonna happen. Anyway, that's what's been in my mind. I still think it's interesting that the thing is reversed, right? To me, that's so fucking fascinating. I think that is like why would they have it that way, right? Why would it be like that? I really do think that little green star is meant to be us. It's like we're looking at one side of it, and if it's not a mirror, maybe it's not necessarily, a window, right? It could be that we're just looking at two sides of it. We're so fucking far from each other where we're standing and where the star is, where Gaia is, that maybe we're just looking at this like crack in space-time. But again, why is it we can only see it sometimes? Why is it when we look up in the sky, we don't see it all the time? Like when we're looking at the meteor. I don't know, man. You know what it could be? Here's a thought. Maybe what we're seeing specifically is like the future. Maybe that is the actual end game goal, right? But we're only going to see that formation at the end of all things. Maybe what Sephiroth is standing there, who is seemingly existing across time, by the way, is showing us this is where we're going to go. This is where it will be. We just got to wait till we get there, right? Our world will become a part of it one day. We're not there yet. Not yet, right? So, I don't know. Maybe 7 seconds till the end is like how long it will take between the moment that appears and our world joining it. 7 seconds till the end. What are you going to do in that time, Cloud? Will you be able to stop it? The reunion of your world and this? You have 7 seconds. I almost feel like there's going to be like a choice that our characters will have to make in the 7 seconds, right? To determine like the fate of everything.